Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. If you're a focused learner looking to uncover the actual, literal mechanics of how we figure out what we are meant to do in life, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the complex psychometric science behind modern career assessments. We're going to look right under the hood, using Allegiance Educare as our real-world case study to see exactly how these mathematical and psychological engines work together to map out human potential. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We're starting with the career assessment engine, then moving to the 5 core pillars of psychometrics. After that, we'll break down the math behind the scores, follow that up with testing the test, and finally wrap up with the human element. Section 1, the career assessment engine. So we're using Allegiance Educare as our lens today. Founded in Mumbai back in 2014, they've built this truly massive career guidance ecosystem. To give you a sense of the sheer scale here, just think about this number. 50,000. They've guided over 50,000 students and professionals, analyzing their individual profiles and mapping them to over 600 unique career paths. That is a staggering amount of data and complex routing happening behind the scenes. Now, you might be wondering, how does it actually do that? Well, it's definitely not magic. It's ACKA, the Advanced Career Assessment Test Engine. This proprietary algorithm is basically a giant puzzle solver. It crunches correlations across more than 5,000 logic rules to instantly generate an incredibly detailed 36-page automated report the literal second a user finishes the test. Section 2, the 5 core pillars. To generate a massive 36-page report that's actually useful, you have to build a truly holistic psychological profile. And that means measuring these 5 core pillars. We've got career interest, aptitude across numerical, verbal, logical, and spatial reasoning, personality, emotional intelligence, and work values and motivation. You see, instead of relying on a single, outdated IQ metric, this whole system looks at functional capabilities, emotional maturity, and intrinsic drivers. Things like how much you genuinely value autonomy in the workplace. And this brings up a really crucial psychological distinction. On one side, we have Holland's RISC model, which measures your career interests across 6 domains to see what work environments you're naturally going to enjoy. But on the other side, we have the Big 5 Ocean model, which measures stable personality traits like conscientiousness and extroversion. This highlights the fundamental difference between what you like to do, your interests, and how you naturally behave, your personality. Both of these are absolutely critical data points for predicting where you'll actually thrive. Section 3, math behind the scores. Let's head down into the engine room for a second. Because knowing what to measure is only half the battle, right? We need to know how to score it. To make sense of all this raw psychometric data, the system uses a Stanine score, which is short for Standard 9. It's basically a scale that converts raw data into a simple 1 to 9 score, indicating a student's ability. This is brilliant because it literally cuts through the noise of messy percentages, making complex data instantly digestible for both the counselor and the student. So, how are these numbers actually mapped out? Well, based on reference samples of hundreds of students, raw scores are first converted to percentiles. Then, those percentiles get categorized into this clean 1 to 9 scale. Say you land in the 41st to 58th percentile, bam, you get a Stanine score of 5, which is firmly average. Hit the 97th percentile, and you're at a 9, categorized as above average. The source data even shows that a raw score of 12 out of a specific subset might translate to a 59th percentile, giving you a Stanine score of 6. It's just a wonderfully elegant mathematical translation. Section 4, testing the test. Now, for the skeptics in the room, and I know you're out there, does this entire mathematical framework actually hold up to rigorous scientific scrutiny? The short answer is yes. In statistics, there's a metric called Cronbach's alpha, used to measure how internally consistent a test is. For this aptitude test, the reliability statistics show a Cronbach's alpha of 0.977. That is off the charts high. It means you aren't going to get wildly different scores if you take the test on a Tuesday versus a Thursday. It is incredibly reliable. But we do need to separate reliability from validity. Reliability ensures the test gives consistent results, meaning it's not just throwing darts in the dark. Validity, however, is all about accuracy, confirmed by some really complex statistics. Validity ensures the test actually measures what it claims to measure. You gather opinions from math teachers for face validity or consult PhD experts for content validity. You absolutely need both consistency and accuracy for any of this to mean anything. Section 5, the human element. Look, for all this advanced math and strict validation, we have to bring it back to reality. We have to look at how this data is applied to a real person standing at a crossroads in their life. The entire ACAT engine and that massive 36-page report, that's really just step one, the day one diagnostic. The real magic happens on step two. That's when a certified mentor steps in, using a search engine tool to validate the automated report against the student's actual real-world aspirations, aligning those ideal careers with local colleges, courses, and, practical realities. Because here's the thing. Raw data, Stanine scores, and algorithmic percentiles are incredibly powerful, but they always need human context. They require the empathy, intuition, and local knowledge of a trained mentor to transform a sterile psychological profile into genuinely actionable, life-changing career advice. Which brings us to our final thought today. Knowing the intense psychometric science, the 5,000 logic rules, and the rigorous math that goes into these modern assessments, how well do you actually know your own career data? If you were put through the ACAT engine today, what hidden aptitudes, unspoken interests, and core personality traits would your 36-page report reveal? It's a fascinating question and one that just might redefine how you see your own potential. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope this helped clear up the science behind the screen. And remember, always keep learning.